Wow, the Oscar nominations finally dropped, and I was not around to film when they dropped, so here's me talking about the nominations now. Hi, my name is Charles, and today on my channel, I'm going to be talking about the nominations for the 2022 Oscar ceremony. I really hate how it's like Oscars 2022, but it's technically Oscars 2021 because it's the nominees from like 2021, but the ceremony's in 2022. I really hate that confusing mix up. But anyway, Oscars 2022 nominations is what I'm going to be talking about today. And I was not able to do a video when the nominations came out because I was away on a trip. So I could not do any video taking, but I was tweeting and I was like, baby, I had thoughts, and I'm about to go through some of those thoughts now in this video. So I haven't seen any of the shorts that are nominated, so I'm just not going to with those categories, so good luck to them. So I'm gonna start off with Best International Film. So for Best International Film, they have Luana, A Yak in the Classroom, interesting name that is. Flea, haven't seen that, but I need to see it. The Hand of God, I've been planning on seeing it. I like Paolo Sorrentino, that's his last name. He did The Great Beauty, which won an Oscar for Best Foreign Film at the time. And also he did Youth, like those two movies. Youth more than The Great Beauty. The next one is Drive My Car. Haven't seen it, want to see it. Probably will see it at some point. And The Worst Person in the World. I just got to see that movie, and it's a phenomenal movie. So it's funny, The Worst Person in the World is the only movie in this lineup that I've seen so far, which is weird because I can see Flea and The Hand of God pretty soon, so I should really get on that. Honestly, Drive My Car has so much steam for it. It has a lot going for it. I mean, it just got that Best Picture nomination, that Best Director nomination, Best Adapted Screenplay nomination, this nomination for Best International Film. And did it get Best Film Editing? I don't remember, but even with just the four that I already mentioned, it's still pretty good. So I think Drive My Car is going to win this category. But, you know, after seeing The Worst Person in the World, I really would like that to win, but we'll see how I feel when I make my video right before the Oscars happen, because who knows, maybe after I watch Flea, which people are raving about too, I might think that should win Best International Film, but we'll see. I need to get my eyes to the rest of these movies that I haven't seen, so yeah. So the next category is Best Documentary Film. Best Documentary Feature, actually, is what it says on the list. But you have Ascension, never heard of that. Attica, heard of it, don't know really what it's really about. Flea has 3 nominations, so good for Flea. And Summer of Soul, which I heard people thought weren't gonna get the nomination, but it did. And Riding with Fire, don't know what the heck that is. And honestly, I have not seen any of these movies on this list, but I'm just gonna guess that it probably could go to Flea, because Neon is doing a pretty good job with their campaigning, and I hear that Flea's just amazing, but if it's not Flea, then I don't know what it could be, because I haven't really seen any of the others. The only one I know really about is The Summer of Soul, but people were second guessing it even get a nomination. So at this point, I kind of want to put my weight behind Flea. But once again, have not seen any of the nominees, and I got to do that and at least watch 1 or 2 of them. Documentary is really a category I'm not the biggest fan of, because I really don't like documentaries for the most part. Anyways, moving on to the next category, which is Best Song, and they have Be Alive, King Richard, Beyonce, or I don't know how to say it, that song from Encanto, Down to Joy, Belfast. I don't even remember what that sounds like, and I watched Belfast. No Time to Die, Billie Eilish. That's an okay song. And Somehow You Do, 4 Good Days. I cannot believe they nominated Diane Warren again, even though the song's not gonna win. At this point, just give it to Beyonce, Be Alive. No Time to Die is an okay song, but if Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas win, I don't know, it just kind of gives me the Sam Smith winning for Writing in the Wall. It's just because y'all do a James Bond song, y'all should not just automatically win, because Adele's Skyfall is iconic, and the fact that Writing on the Wall won over, not Beyonce, over Lady Gaga's Till It Happens to You still stings. And honestly, just give Be Alive the Oscar. That way Beyonce has an Oscar. One done, let's go. Next up, we have Best Score, and we have Don't Look Up, don't remember what the score sounds like, Dune, iconic score. Encanto, didn't think that would get the score nomination, but it did. Good for it. Parallel Mothers. See, like put in my predictions that Parallel Mothers was going to get that score nomination because I thought the score was really pumping, and I don't know, I was just like holding out hope because for a while it seemed like Parallel Mothers wasn't going to get anything, and I'm glad it got at least 2 nominations, so yay. And then you have The Power of the Dog, and rip to, you know, Spencer's score, which is also done by Johnny Greenwood, who does the score for Power of the Dog. Justice for Spencer overall, justice for Spencer, but the Power of the Dog score, it's great too. So at least Johnny Greenwood got a nomination. He should have won for the Phantom Threads score a while ago, but looking at this, I'm like, it feels like Hans Zimmer's gonna win for Dune, and it's a great score, but I really would like it to go to The Power of the Dog or Parallel Mothers because the composers of those movies really snapped. And Hans Zimmer does a great job with Dune, but I don't know. He already has an Oscar, doesn't he? I don't think we need to give him another one because I think the other two for Parallel Mothers and The Power of the Dog just do more interesting things, in my opinion. LOL, I just looked up Hans Zimmer's name on IMDb, and he has an Oscar, but it's for the Lion King score, and I'm like, dang, that was a long time ago, so maybe he does have a chance for winning because it's been so long, and the Dune score was pretty great. But once again, I think that Parallel Mothers or The Power of the Dog should win Best Score, so yeah. Next up is Best Visual Effects, and they put down Dune, Free Guy, very surprised with the Free Guy nomination, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home. I always confuse Spider-Man No Way Home with Spider-Man Far From Home. They gotta stop. Them using home 3 times in their all 3 movies, I was like, this is annoying. I cannot remember which one's which. But anyway, just give it to Dune. Give it to Dune. Dune has the best visual effects. It blends in seamlessly. All the others like are other than No Time to Die. Because I really do like special effects that make it seem like it's not a special effect at all. And I think that Dune, it's like, you know, this stuff isn't real, but they make it look so real, which is why it totally deserves the Best Visual Effects Oscar. So give it to them already, you guys. Okay, for Best Sound, you got Belfast. Don't understand that nomination, but it's there. And then we have Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and then West Side Story. For me, it's Dune all the way. The, you know, craft elements of Dune, the technical aspects of Dune are just really impressive, and the sound in Dune is just impeccable. If it wasn't for Dune, I would say probably give it to The Power of the Dog or West Side Story, because those movies also do great jobs with their sound design. Okay, so the next category we got is makeup and hairstyling, and they got Coming to America, Cruella, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and House of Gucci. And it's hard because I'm really feeling The Eyes of Tammy Faye because of the way they transform both Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield in that movie, but I gotta say the makeup and hairstyling in Dune is pretty great, especially with Stellan Skarsgård. I'm like, and also Dave Bautista. You know, the people on that planet in general, they really went off with their like makeup and hairstyling there. So I think Dune has a decent shot, but I really do think that it's The Eyes of Tammy Faye. House of Gucci, they lucky. They got the nomination because House of Gucci was about to be eradicated from the Oscars in general. But good for them for getting in. Cruella and Coming to America. Okay, like, I've never seen Coming to America, so it's whatever. But yeah, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, that's probably gonna win. Okay, moving on to Best Editing, we have Don't Look Up. I don't know how I feel. What am I saying? I don't know how I feel. I do know how I feel about this nomination for that movie. It's a no. I don't think the editing is that good, so sorry, editor from that movie, sorry. Then you have Dune, great editing. King Richard, I guess. The Power of the Dog, magnificent. And then Tick Tick Boom, very well earned nomination. And maybe The Power of the Dog's gonna win this. We'll see. But I think that Tick Tick Boom's a pretty good like nominee in this category as well, because I really do like the way they cut back and forth from like the musical of, you know, Tick Tick Boom that like they were performing with the events of the past. It was really good. It was really good. But I do think that The Power of the Dog is going to win this because the editing is pretty great in that movie. And an editing win here would solidify, or at least give it a stepping stone block to the win for Best Picture. Next category is Best Cinematography, and we got Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. And I don't understand why this is considered a below the line category, because I think cinematography is a pretty important category. And I just love the cinematography nominees mostly every year. I mean, last year when Mank won, I said, baby, I willed that, because I was predicting Mank. I love Mank's cinematography, but people were like, no, it's Nomadland. And I was like, sorry, I'm just like Mank better. And when Mank won, I was like, see, yes, justice for Mank. And people were mad, and I was like, stay mad, because Mank was honestly well shot. The cinematography in that movie was great. So I was like, stay mad, people, stay mad. But with this category this year, I'm like, all 5 nominees are pretty amazing. And any one of them could win for best cinematography. I don't know who is going to win, but my personal pick probably would have to be, it's hard because I'm looking at all these. The only one I haven't seen is A Tragedy of Macbeth, but I've seen like the clips, the pictures, and it's like, it's a beautiful movie. But that probably would have to be the lowest for me. I probably would give, all of them are so good. The other 4, the last 4 are so good, but I think I'm just gonna give it to Nightmare Alley, because no one does cinematography like Guillermo del Toro and his team, so I would have to give it to Nightmare Alley. But ooh, at the same time, The Power of the Dog is so good, and if The Power of the Dog wins, it's like the first female cinematographer to win an Oscar. Decisions. This is a tough category. And I just hope that either Nightmare Alley or The Power of the Dog wins. Oh, West Side Story is so good too. The cinematography category this year is really good. So honestly, if any of them win, I would be mad, because all 5 nominees have great cinematography. So yeah, it's hard to decide. Okay, so the next category is Best Costume Design, and we have Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. And honestly, this is either probably going to go to Cruella or West Side Story. I just think the costumes in those movies were really popping in the way the others are not. Cyrano's even lucky it got a nomination in this category, because it really didn't get anything else. So I'm just saying, like, Dune was okay, but not really the flashiest outfits, but that really didn't really stop Mad Max Fury Road from winning Best Costume Design years ago, even though I didn't think it deserved to win. Sorry to that costume designer, but you know what? She said, whatever, y'all, when she won, so, like, good for you, girly. But for this, yeah, Cruella or West Side Story is probably going to win. And honestly, I probably would have liked it if it goes to Cruella, because they had iconic looks in that. Okay, not iconic. They had great looks in that movie. And I do think about the trash like dress that Emma Stone wears in that movie a lot. So yeah. Okay, so the next category is Best Production Design, and we have Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Honestly, just give it to Nightmare Alley. The production design in this movie is insanely great. All I can see is like maybe Dune winning. Like, that's it. Like, The Tragedy of Macbeth, it's too simple. Like, everything's way too simple. And I'm like, it's good production design, but I don't think it's amazing. And West Side Story, it's good production design too, but I'm like, it's okay. You're basically just like in alleys and inside of buildings, so it's like, whatever. And then The Power of the Dog, it was lucky to get the nomination, to be honest. I'm pretty sure everyone was like, wow, he got the nomination. So honestly, it's between Dune and Nightmare Alley, and I'm throwing my weight behind Nightmare Alley. The next category is Best Animated Film, and we have Encanto, Flea, Luca, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon. And all I gotta say, first of all, is rip to Belle. They shouldn't have nominated Raya and the Last Dragon, because I really think it's weird that they just nominated all 3 Disney movies this year, and it just shows laziness on some voters, because if anyone watched Belle, they would know that movie is a fantastic movie and very Oscar-worthy. So if it was my way, I would have knocked out Raya and the Last Dragon for Belle, and it would be a better lineup for that. Or maybe even Luca, but like I do like Luca a little bit more than Raya and the Last Dragon, so But anyway, Encanto's gonna win this, hands down, hands down. The only upset I could see is like Flea, like somehow winning this, but it's Encanto, because voters don't usually watch animated movies, and they just vote for whatever's Disney, and Encanto's the poppin' Disney movie at the moment, so it's gonna be Encanto. Okay, the next category is Best Adapted Screenplay, and they got Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and The Power of the Dog. And honestly, Jane Campion's gonna win for The Power of the Dog. I read the book The Power of the Dog before I watched the movie. It really helped with my viewing of the movie, because a lot of people were lost and felt cold and distant from the movie on their first watch, but I read the book, so I knew what was coming, and I knew the kind of tone she probably was going to go for. And watching the movie, I was like, Jane really did a good job adapting the book, because there were some parts in the book that I was like, why are we here? Like, she cut out all the things that weren't needed in that book and like really streamlined the movie into something more focused. She made the story more focused in general. So I really do think that Jane's gonna win for The Power of the Dog, but if not Jane, then maybe, just maybe Dune, because they do such a great job adapting the story of Dune, because Dune is long, and I don't know. They made Dune watchable when I could not watch the David Lynch version. I mean, not to say I couldn't. I did watch it. It was not good, but they made it better than that version of Dune. So if it's not The Power of the Dog, maybe it can be Dune. I mean, Drive My Car. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm not predicting it. So Power of the Dog is the winner in this category for me. Okay, next is Best Original Screenplay, and you got Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World. Honestly, looking at this category, Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, sure, it's okay. Licorice Pizza, it has problems, but it has a lot of good moments in it. So, kind of forgiven. And then The Worst Person in the World. I think this movie is the best movie in this lineup. It should have gotten a Best Picture nomination, Best Director nomination, Best Actress nomination, Best Supporting Actor nomination, Best Editing nomination. So honestly, if Drive My Car is gonna win like Best International Film, like people are predicting it is, then give The Worst Person in the World Best Original Screenplay. I mean, I know people really want to give it to Paul Thomas Anderson because he's never won an Oscar, but I think we can do better. I think we can do better with Paul. And The Worst Person in the World is here. It's an amazing movie. It's one of the best movies of last year, and I think it's just so innovative, so heartwarming, so sad, so like introspective of like people coming of age now in today's society, and overall it's funny too. So I think The Worst Person in the World is doing everything and like should be rewarded with getting an Oscar, because it really is just something so fresh. And I think that original screenplay should be something that are trying hard to like do something new and fresh, and follow like Promising Young Woman up with The Worst Person in the World, because I love Promising Young Woman. People didn't like that movie. Like, I loved it, but like I can see why some people have problems with it. But just like that movie, this movie takes bold leaps with its story and does something new with like the genre it's doing. So personally, I think The Worst Person in the World should win. Next up, we have Best Supporting Actor, and we have Ciarán Hinds, Belfast, Troy Kotsur, Coda, Jesse Plemons, The Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons, Being the Ricardos, and then Jodie Smith-McPhee, The Power of the Dog. And once again, two surprise nominees. Like, no one, I mean, I guess some people were thinking about Jesse Plemons and The Power of the Dog, but some people were like, he fizzles out because he's not really in like the second end of the second half of the movie and not really in the third act at all. So some people thought he wasn't, but he does a fantastic part in the first third of the movie. So, I mean, good for him getting the nomination, and good for him and Kirsten getting nominated together. It's like, yay for them. Like the story that like about her like screaming when she found out that her husband got nominated too. I was like, I love her. I love Kirsten so much. But yeah, like the surprise nominations of both Jesse and J.K. Simmons was surprising, because a lot of people thought it was really gonna be like Bradley Cooper in Licorice Pizza, and I forget who else I thought it was gonna be, but not Jared Leto. Even though I did like Jared Leto's performance in House of Gucci, unpopular opinion, but I did like it. But I didn't think it was Oscar nominated worthy. So looking at this lineup, I really do think that Troy Kotsur is going to win this. Like, let's go, Coda, let's go. He was amazing. He was very heartbreaking, so heartfelt in that movie. So I think he should get it. And if it's not him, then probably Cody, because a lot of people are really loving Cody's performance. He doesn't have a moment, but his performance overall is just really good. So we'll see. Will he be one of the youngest people like to win it in this category since Timothy Hutton? We'll see. Okay, we finally reached Best Actress, and you've got Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter, you have Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers, you have Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos, and you have Kristen Stewart in Spencer. And a lot of people were angry that Lady Gaga didn't get a nomination, and I was the opposite. I was ecstatic. I was feeling myself. I was like, baby, in my predictions for nominations, I took out Jessica Chastain and put in Lady Gaga because Gaga got all the nominations. But when she didn't get the nominations in the morning of the Oscar, didn't get the nomination. When she didn't get the Oscar nomination in the morning of the nominations, I was like, baby, because the Academy knows that that performance was not good, the movie wasn't good, and all of Gaga's fans who are going insane that she didn't get a nomination, I'm like, I feel like y'all really do not watch movies that much because that performance was good for the movie, I guess, but overall, as a Best Lead Actress performance, it wasn't that good. And honestly, Gaga's like press tour was chaotic, and I feel like she just alienated people. Like she really probably sent people over the deep edge with like all the things she was saying because it was just so outrageous, and people were like, "Oh well, male actors do that all the time," and I'm like, and they're crazy too, y'all. They're crazy too. So why follow crazy with crazy? I just don't understand. But this lineup of like all five of them is great. Like I probably would put Nicole last, then Olivia, then Jessica, then Penelope, and then Kristen as the winner. I've been Kristen Stewart like hive for like the longest time. Not during Twilight, like more like when I mean I did like Snow White and the Huntsman, and I did go around with Twilight. So maybe yeah, I was on board since the Twilight. No, not even the Twilight era, like her Disney Channel movie era. So I've actually been Kristen Stewart high for a while, but like I really came around to her during her Olivier Assayas phase, which she did Clouds of Sils Maria and then Personal Shopper. That's when I really was like, ooh, she's doing the work. We have to like help her win things. But yeah, like Kristen Stewart, she's amazing in Spencer, and I really just want her to win. And I think at this point, it's anyone's game in this competition to win this award. Like all five have things going for them and things not going for them. So like we'll see who wins. But at this point in time, I'm like, I have not given up on Kristen one bit during this whole like season, and I'm not about to now. So Kristen is my Best Actress winner at this point. Rip to Renata from The Worst Person in the World, because some people think that Gaga was the 6th place person, but no, I really do think it was Renata, because Renata was amazing. And also it got the Best Original Screenplay nomination and International Film nomination. So clearly that movie is loved because it got one more nomination than, you know, House of Gucci, and both of its nominations are pretty high level. So I think that Renata should have gotten into. I probably would have gotten rid of Nicole to make room for like Renata. And honestly, I might have even kicked out Jessica Chastain to put Alana Haim in, but that's just me. That's just me. Okay, up next is Best Actor, and we have Javier Bardem being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield, Tick, Tick, Boom, Will Smith, King Richard, and Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth. Honestly, I understand the trajectory of the Will Smith Oscar win, like, it's his time and all that, but watching King Richard, his performance was not the one that most had me intrigued. It was Ingenue Ellis as, like, the mother, and also, like, the person who was playing Venus Williams. Those two people really, like, grabbed my attention, and I don't know, I was just like, Will Smith's character is just safe. It's not something like pushing the envelope at all. It just feels so safe, his like performance and character. But like I really would like it if Benedict Cumberbatch or Andrew Garfield won. That's just in my opinion. I have not seen The Tragedy of Macbeth, so can't say anything about Denzel, but it's Macbeth, it's Shakespeare. It's like, if you like it, you like it. It's whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of the Macbeth like story myself. I mean, I own a copy of the Michael Fassbender, Marion Cotillard Macbeth version, but even that, I'm just like, it's good, but I'm not really feeling it. So, choices. Javier Bardem being the Ricardos, like, good for him getting a nomination, but I mean, it's whatever. Him and Nicole, I don't think are the strongest in their categories. So, personally, I think that Benedict or Andrew should win, but Will probably will win, so yeah. Okay, next you have Best Director, and you have Kenneth Branagh for Belfast. You have, oh my god, I don't know how to say his first name, but Hamaguchi for Drive My Car, and then you have Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza, then Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, and then Steven Spielberg for West Side Story. Honestly, I almost got this whole thing right. I just took out Kenneth Branagh and put in Denis Villeneuve, but clearly they like Belfast that much to give it Best Director, and I'm just like, it's sad because I think that what Denis does with Dune is way better than what Kenneth does with Belfast, so they shouldn't have nominated Branagh and just nominated Denis, and that way this category would have been perfect. But I also probably would have put in the director of The Worst Person in the World because that movie is just so well done. And honestly, if I had to say, I would also nominate Pablo Larraín and Spencer because that movie deserved better this award season. But at least it got Kristen Stewart, so thank God for that. But yeah, with this category, I think Jane Campion's gonna win, and good for her because The Power of the Dog is really, really, really well made. But if it's not Jane Campion, then I think it's gonna be Steven Spielberg because West Side Story, he was doing the work. And it's been a while since I've seen Steven Spielberg do, like, the work. Like, it's been such a long time. I really do think that Saving Private Ryan was the last movie I've seen from him, like, throughout his whole filmography, like, from the 2000s to the 2010s, that made me feel something like, wow, like, that is a director at the helm. Like, all his movies between Saving Private Ryan and West Side Story, it's like, they're good, but they don't excite me. So if it's not Jane, then I would like it to be Steven. Okay, so those are my thoughts and opinions on this year's Oscar nominations. I mean, it's a pretty good crop of nominees, had some problems, but overall, this is a pretty good year in my opinion. We'll just see who wins. That's the main thing. The winners. The winners will really decide how good this year was. But I'm very excited. I mean, I'm very excited for Kristen Stewart. Let's go, Kristen Stewart. Like, you are the one thing I'm championing really, really, really hard this award season. Like, hopefully, like, she wins. I saw a recent interview with her where she was doing a Q&A for Spencer, and she was like, this can go either which way. I don't give a. And then she goes, just kidding. I totally do give. And I'm like, girl, Neon said, you better stop saying you don't care, and you better be campaigning for your life, baby. And I'm like, you better be campaigning, Kristen. Kristen, no, it is Kristen, sorry. Kirsten Dunst and Kristen Stewart, like, the way their I's and R's are, like, switched around. But yeah, Kristen, you better, like, campaign your ass off and win this award because we need you to win. We need you to be successful. So please win, please win, please win. But yeah, as I said, this year's Oscar nominations, not bad. Like, I'm pretty content with mostly all the nominations. So tell me down below what you guys thought about this year's Oscar nominations. Did you love them? Did you hate them? Like, who are you rooting for in all the categories? Like, it's very interesting to see certain people's opinions because unless you watch a lot of movies, then I'm really just not interested in what you have to say, to be honest. Sorry. But if you have watched a lot of movies, then, like, I will be more interested because at least you have seen different things and you have at least a different perspective than people who just watch a few movies, you know? Like, I want people who have seen a lot of movies and have a lot of opinions about everything they've seen, at the very least, because, you know, it's boring when people have, like, one thing they champion and they've not watched, like, anything else, really, because it's like, God, y'all, there's so much good stuff out there. Just watch the movie. Anyways, thank you guys for coming to my channel and watching this whole video, and yeah, I'll see you guys around the next one if you're around for that. So until then, I'm gonna go now. So yes, bye!